Welcome to Men's Style Fashion. One of my passions is the man on the motorbike, but what I'm finding, the lack of style. Who are you and what's your take on it?
My name is Reno, owner of The Great Frog, part owner of Black Skulls. I'm into bike myself, always have been, collect various different bits of rusty old machinery, have at last count about sort of 10 different bikes of various makes, you know, ranging from early Harley fanheads to modern Suzuki race bikes. Yeah, everything in between pretty much. And that's something we've also sort of come up against, like trying to buy brands that you identify with like off the peg is something that is hard to find. There's very few that I like or would want to wear. So we've sort of come up with our own brand, Black Skulls, which is primarily a fashion brand, but tying in with the sort of elements of biker culture, rather than sort of ripping off anything wholesale or doing a sort of pastiche copy of a 1950s bike look or a Hells Angels inspired bike look, something like that. We're trying to define our own niche within that culture. There's various different like subsections within the biker culture as a whole. We're trying to sort of carve our own little part within that. At the moment we're launching, I think as a lot of brands, sort of brands start off with t-shirts just to sort of get the ball rolling and get our message out there, gets to show what we're doing graphically quite easily. And we're also working on sampling, which should be finished in the next couple of weeks, leathers with sort of practical application for bike riding, as well as, we hope, like stylish, and people will enjoy them.
And they're proper leather bikey jackets, because I'm finding a lot like they're not.
We've done our research, we've looked into the right hide, we've looked into the right way of stitching linings. We're not going for an all-out technical jacket, we're not putting like Kevlar inserts, we're not doing that sort of thing. That will be later down the line. We're sort of, you know, they're going to be more for around the town sort of riding. If you're going to be going on, you know, track days, or you're doing some real sort of, you know, kind of extreme riding, whatever, you wouldn't want to be wearing these jackets. They will offer an element of protection, but only as much as something, say, from the 70s, 80s would. Until we have done a lot more research into, I mean, there's already brands that are covering that well. You know, your Alpine Stars, your but there's loads of other brands that are already covering that, you know, specifically technical stuff. And we're hoping to have like a cross between that, something that, you know, you'd be quite happy to get off your bike and go to the pub in, rather than looking
so the stylish riding is what I call it.
Exactly that.
Long time overdue. Like, what's your take on it?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, again, there is people doing it. There's companies that are doing it well, but I think we're offering something slightly different because it's English for one. There's some good guys in America, some great companies in Japan that are doing it, and we have a great heritage of handmade British stuff over here, and all too often it's being farmed out overseas. And we're trying to keep that sort of tradition of having British quality made goods that we stand by. There's great companies that are doing it as well, but they adhere to, I mean, like one of my favourite brands.
Yeah, talk us about what you're wearing.
Lewis Leathers, amazing British motorbike jacket company. A friend of mine owns it, and they've been going for 100 years odd.
Wow.
And it's still made in the UK, but they're very much of a style, and they are the go-to jacket. You wouldn't wear anything else if you're going for this sort of style. But you know, we'd like to have something a little bit more technical that crosses over between, you know, where sort of Lewis leaves off and Alpine Style starts. So there's a sort of a happy medium. Hopefully, that's what we're kind of going for.
I'm loving how you've layered the denim on the leather. Talk to me about this.
A friend of mine's brand. It's called Eat Dust. They're denim designers, a pair of them, and they're very much into bikes, the whole bike scene. We met going to different like motorbike shows in Tokyo and LA, and we seem to bump each other all over the place. We're meeting out in Berlin for another show, and yeah, they make like really, really good quality sort of heavyweight denims, but it's, you know, within that sort of biker, drawing on inspiration from bike culture. I mean, as you can see, the stitching on the pocket is like a pair of sort of Z-bar risers. So it's got those elements tied in without it being like over the top or corny or pastiche.
What's your favourite bike? Are you into vintage? Are you into the modern Harley?
Do you know what? I really can't say definitively what my favourite sort of bike would be. At the moment, I've got an 80s GSXR, which I'm absolutely loving. It's just a lot of fun, a lot of speed, because I've been used to riding older bikes. But there's a certain charm to older bikes, and I love riding vintage Harleys.
Right.
Like, absolutely love. But sometimes you get that sort of, you want that thrill of speed, and you know.
So in the superbike scene, you mean? Or?
Again, it's like my own sort of take on it. Particularly is you know, that sort of superbike scene, not the modern stuff. Even though I mean those bikes are amazing machines and love to ride them. So yeah, I really couldn't say. But I like what I do like is something that's been personalised, something that somebody's taken, created, and made something, taken a factory bike and done something creative with it that kind of either shocks or kind of inspires other people to do things. And there's amazing bike builders.
Does a man's attitude towards this bike is like a woman towards her handbag? Look at my handbag, it represents me. Talk to me a bit about the psyche between the man riding the bike. I don't know. I'm intrigued.
I can't claim to understand the connection between women and their handbags. You know, it's not.
We've got too many.
Yeah,
but
it's not.
But we feel the same with the man and his bike. You know, like you could just turn up and think.
On that either, but,
I'm loving the man on the bike, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, my sort of connection to the bike is I really enjoy riding and all elements of it. The sort of freedom of just getting on the bike and clearing your head and going fast somewhere.
Right.
And also the times when it's, especially winter at the moment, when the weather's shit, you know, I've got a shed, spend a lot of time in my shed working on my bike, you know, and it's an outlet for creativity, it's fun, it's an obsession, and just everything related to it.
Now you've got a launch coming very soon, can you talk about that? Is there a specific date already?
We've launched our sort of brand, Black Skulls.
Right. Now is that a jewellery, what is it?
Well, it's sort of a side company between me and my partner Drew.
Right.
He's coming from the sort of bike scene.
Yeah.
I'm from the jewellery side.
Okay.
Always loved motorbikes, but we thought we could sort of marry the two with the sort of quality of craftsmanship, attention to detail. We're starting to build bikes. We realised we're not really going to make enough money out of tinkering with motorbikes, and we'd like to try and sustain a lifestyle from it.
Yes.
So we thought, you know, we'd launch a few t-shirts and see what people liked them, and they sold out immediately, and people really wanted them. So we started to do more, and then we thought, jackets, and then it's going to be, you know, jeans, jewellery, anything else that we'd like to turn our hand to.
Is this a family history behind this, or have you just walked into it by passion?
Well, to be honest, like. I grew up around bikes. My dad wasn't into bikes at all. My mum was.
Wow.
Which was weird. She had like Triumphs. She still got the scars from crashing Triumphs when she was younger. And like my dad saw I'd never have a motorbike. My mum bought me one when I was about, I don't know, 12, which was just a shitty little Honda that I just stripped and fucked around with for ages. And ever since then, I've just always had bikes. And recently I just went over to the States and imported a 56 Harley Panhead that was my uncle's.
Wow.
And he rode that when he was 19 and I shipped it over. So redoing that. So it is like, there's a sort of a blood lineage in that.
I can see it in your eyes. So it's a bit like us and women handbags. We just light up.
Maybe I get it.
There's nothing wrong with it. It's all positive.
Yeah.
And this final question, the man on the bike, my clear message is, you know, you're looking awesome. I mean, the bike is so powerful, but what they're wearing is so long time overdue. What's your personal message?
Yeah, I mean,
it's dated for me. That's my perspective.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, there's a lot of people that will sort of decry it as like, oh no, you just need to have something practical, and it's not about a fashion statement, which it shouldn't be. You need to have something as protection, and you need, if you come off your bike, you don't want to be scraped up off the pavement, and you know, I've come off bikes enough times, and if you're not wearing the right gear, then you know, it's ridiculous. But you know, you can do that well. That's what we're hoping to do. You can actually, you know, there's no you know, you don't want to look like a Transformer or a Power Ranger. So I don't know. I mean, there is that technical side of it, which I appreciate. If you want to, you know, you want to go fast, you want to ride technically, then yeah, you can't.
No.
You know, you have to have the right gear.
Yeah.
But yeah. There's no
the city
excuses,
ride.
there's no
We're talking about the
excuses
city
for looking like a dick.
No.
I mean, even
totally agree.
like even within those parameters, you can still do it well.
Well, listen, you are representing what I think is a stylish rider, a city rider.
Cheers.
You're practicing what you're preaching. Looking forward to a lot more. Thank you.